Excuse me while I am still in the void. Excuse me while the void has consumed me. At least we're live again, so allow me to fucking restart VTube Studio once more. I hate everything. I hate everything. Well. Okay, here I am. We are live again on YouTube and we are live on Twitch, right? Right. Surely we fucking are. Surely we are also live on Twitch again. Yes. And on YouTube. Wonderful. Okay. And now I'm gonna have to wait a little bit because I fucking hate it here. Let's see. Let's do this and this. What do you mean live chat is currently unavailable? What do you mean it's currently unavailable? What do you mean it's currently unavailable? YouTube? What are you doing? Okay. This happens only when I play HSR. Literally, this only happens with HSR. This happens exclusively with HSR. It is wild. It is insane. I don't know, okay, apparently, but I mean, Caster Labs apparently is... Wait. Oh, well, now it's not showing YouTube chat on Caster Labs. Oh, well, that's great. Oh, that's great. So now I have to make sure... Now I have to disconnect YouTube and reconnect YouTube. Yes. Which one is it? I think it's this. Wait, which channel do I use? Is it this one? Wait. I forgot which account I use for Caster Labs. Could not connect to app? What is your problem? Why is everything fucking crashing now? I'm gonna crash. I'm gonna crash the fuck out. Was it only YouTube stream that... Wait. Wait, YouTube stream is still up, right? YouTube stream is still up. According to YouTube Studio, the YouTube stream is still up. Don't fucking do this to me. Okay, no, the YouTube stream is still up. We should be back. Now I'm trying to fucking figure out how to bring chat back on screen. YouTube chat back on screen. Okay, it's still up. Okay. So I'm also gonna have to fucking... Okay, let me... While I do this, let me fucking redo, like... Put music back on. Everything. Let me see. Music back on. And then for this, I'm gonna... No, that's the wrong thing. Literally, Lygus fucking sniped me. Is it this one? It might be this one. This, and now I put this back on, okay. And now I have to reconnect YouTube. Yes. And now this should hopefully... Okay, it says success, so hopefully YouTube chat should also be back now. Gotta go eat, see you later. Enjoy your food, Lenny. Enjoy your foods. Okay. YouTube chat, are we back? Do this. Okay, the question is now whether it shows on Caster Labs. Okay, it says connected success. Okay, it says connected successfully. So, test. Okay. Okay. Whoo. We're back. We are officially and fully back. Anyway. We're gonna continue right where we left off, which is the mural, which we can only see somewhat here, but it's fine. It's better than nothing. So, okay, you can actually see it better here. You can actually see it better here. So, yeah, this was the mural where when we played through the quest, I was like, that kind of looks like Lygus, and also Kefali, kind of like both, somewhat. And it has four. I mean, they have more than 4 arms. Actually, we could probably maybe we can see this better, like in the actual video. So let's go back and watch the video. Let's go back through the video, and we are going to take this apart piece by piece. This is gonna be very fun to edit later for me, so yay! Anyway.
The last time I was on the uhhhh was centuries ago.
Okay.
Pity that you now come not as a hero, but a prisoner. Put the abundance in their grave, empty talk.
Put the abundance in their grave.
Will naturally determine whether your words are trustworthy.
Fine. As we always say on the Cienjo, seeing is believing.
Okay, we have a lot of planets being wiped. As I said before, the paths of Remembrance, Equilibrium, Enigmata, and Finality are the only ones without a Lord Ravager attacking them. Trailblaze, Beauty, Order, and Propagation are supposedly fallen. True. 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 Remembrance, Equilibrium, Enigmata, and Finality. A War of Gods has already begun. This is Bellowbog. And, number 1, Bellowbog mention! Would you look at that? Would you look at that? We have Zayla, we have Bronya, we have Natasha. Do we have anyone else that I can see? I don't think so. Yeah, the rest are these are just like basic bitches. Where's the part? Anyway. True, Long is also supposed to be dead, missing, whatever. So this, you know, Iron Tomb, I think, was the one that is supposedly going against the preservation. I think Iron Tomb, they said that they don't directly interfere, but they create weapons of destruction. So this would be that. Okay, so wait a moment. Not Iron Tomb, Archforger, I think, was it? Right? Archforger. Archforger, that was the one. Yeah, sorry. Iron Tomb was, is the last one. Is the glitchy one. So... how much do we know about the architects? The Bellowbog, the Riddle 6 architects. How much do we know about them? It's also interesting that, like, we have the red glitching here. We have it here, and we have it, like, in every, I think, like, in most other, like, instances here. Yeah, Eurylo 6.
In the abacus.
Huh. With how much... Wait, the engine of creation in Bellowbog, they, wait, what? This is what Samba was? Oh my god, is this what... Dude. If this is in any way, shape, or form related to what Sampo is going back to Belobog for, my god. That would be fucking insane. That would be fucking insane. That is the engine of creation. Yes, but do we know? I forgot, but have they ever said, like, where it originates from? Or I guess, like, just the architects in general. How much do we know about the architects? Because the Archforger remained a total mystery for years. Decode the name Archforger from construction of the Iron Tomb. Twisted forms and some destruction creation and intense background destroyed attacking enemies along with linked to heat, forging, and shaping, possibly connected to the path of preservation. In the furnace of war, there is no line between the smith and the smith. Since their ascension, this Lord Ravager no longer destroys directly, but instead forges all things into weapons of distinction. I guess the question here would also be, how long has this Lord Ravager been around? Have they been around? Yeah, the architect of the Legion. So, has Archforger possibly been around since before Belobog's architects, maybe, even? Or not necessarily Archforger, but whoever Archforger, like, is or used to be before their ascension? Because you know where I'm getting at? You know what I'm getting at? Yeah, we know the architect used to follow the preservation. And you know, like everything in this, like, very much like hints at that, like, every Lord Ravager used to follow the path that they are now aiming to destroy. I don't think it's Archforger attacking Belobog. Really, I think it would make sense. I mean, number one, we quote know, at least, you know, it is assumed here that the Archforger is again, you know, connected to the path of preservation, and you know, they don't interfere directly. They create machines meant for destruction. I think all the locations they shown at the start is Iron Tomb. Yeah. I think, I don't know, it's still like, that's still what kind of gets, like, it makes, like, that makes sense because, you know, the glitches here. But I don't know, something, you know where I'm going, right? Like, it's the wording. It's the wording of Archforger's explanation, the connection to the preservation, that kind of throws me off here. Yeah. And to be fair, who says that it only has to be one Lord Ravager? You know? But,
This calculated future.
The Abacus' calculated future. There's the Xianzhou. Oh, wait, there's... Yeah, I saw this before. There's Gornaifen, Hanya, and is that... No, is that... Oh, wait, that's... No, never mind, that's Bailu. I'm blind. That's Bailu. Gornaifen, Bailu. And I'm assuming just with, like, other citizens, question mark? Yeah, I can't see anyone else. Yeah, again, the glitching. And, I mean, this is just, like, regular, quote, regular destruction. So, and who was against, or who was presumably against the Hunt? Was it Fantilia? I think it was just Fantilia, right? I think it was just Fantilia. Yeah. So this one, nothing new. The corruption shown in the trailer for both Belobog, Xianzhou, IPC, and Penacony is what will happen if Iron Tomb is freed from its captivity, since what we're seeing being corrupted is all mechanical stuff. Oh. I guess, yeah, because these are all predictions. Because these, I think, these are all predictions of what is going to happen.
Already begun in the Abacus. Atticus's calculated future. The Lord Ravager's wish will be fulfilled.
Right, okay. Yeah, I had it mixed up. I forgot that this is like basically like this is what is going to happen, or what is, you know, predicted to happen. And this is wild. Also Topaz!
Dawn will fall.
Dude, if the erudition falls, that would be fucking insane. Is what that would be.
This is a chess.
And the dream pool being corrupted. With Robin there.
Between gods.
Ooh.
As each piece falls.
To counter the next. Why not take advantage of it for our own goals?
Take advantage of it for our own goals.
Anything here, or is it just like planets being destroyed?
The Alliance already has the Swarm Author's remains to kill a god.
Sure do.
We just...
Okay, this is... Dear goodness. It also kind of looks... Okay, so now we can actually... Now we can get a closer look here. This is Iron 2. Well, not quite. Not quite. At least I can't really see it. The only thing that we really have is the arms. Actually, wait. Actually, hold on, wait. Actually, wait a fucking second here. The top part, not necessarily. The lower part, we have, you know, these arms right here that go out. You know, just the arms. And, well, actually, wait, okay, wait a moment. Wait. I guess the question is... Wait. This part, not really. If you go from here, if we go from here downward, I can see the similarities. I can see similarities. Like something about the general shape of, you know, this part and the way it goes down here. Also, is this like... Is this... Where is their head? Is it supposed to be this part? Is it this part? Can't tell. True, the Enigmata will have a field day if the erudition dies. Yasha has 4 hands too. That is true, but, you know, there's more connections between Iron 2 and Amphorius than there is between Yasha and Amphorius in any way, shape, or form, as of now at least. Also, Ice Phoenix, welcome in. Fun fact, the caption yesterday had the error of having abundance instead of propagation when Jing Liu said that they had the Swarm Authors remain. Oh, well. That is that thing over there. Thank you, Nova. But yeah, interesting. Okay. Anyway.
To temper the hunt's arrowheads with ruin's golden blood.
Golden blood use. Wait.
Author's to kill a god. We just need to
temper the hunt's arrowheads with ruin's golden blood. Yeah, so it is very likely that the Lord Ravager contained by Amphorius is Iron 2. And now we get to see... Oh, okay. I didn't read this before because it took me a while to realize that this wasn't voiced. Selenova's legions are retreating. Also Jojo! Oh my god, I just saw this! The bandages over his eyes. Right. Where's Mozza? Is Mozza somewhere here? Maybe not. Retreating. It's a trap. Maybe she's carrying out an even more important order.
colleague told me that the Xianzhou Alliance...
This is Selenova. A colleague told me that the Xianzhou Alliance is not our enemy.
Our enemy. So why not join this great feast?
Oh, there's a Doomsday Beast.
And observe how billions of
beating hearts walk through.
irreversible demise.
Ooh, the ring. Ooh.
Indeed, death is not a process, but the outcome. Let the ignorant hunter raise their bow and kill what they
There's the hunt.
what they believe in, and ultimately kill themselves.
Ooh. Ooh. Ooh, I like that.
And ultimately kill
Like the switch from red to blue
themselves.
here. Ooh.
So, what's the point in this process?
I wonder what plans these are. I wonder. They're planning to use propagation, destruction, and the hunt to destroy the abundance. That'll not end well, especially with how Tazeroth is prophesized to return. How were they? I don't actually know. Or I forgot. One of the two. Huh. Yeah, I feel like using the propagation's one thing. Well, is also terrible. But using the destruction... Ooh. The archer for Lan the Hunt, 6 rope people for the Xianzhou ships, and people with guns for the Galaxy Ranger. Oh. Oh.
Raise their bow and kill
Oh, true.
what they love,
And the guns for the Galaxy
what they
Rangers.
believe in.
I didn't pick up on that. Oh, yeah. Good catch.
And ultimately kill themselves.
So, what's the point in this process?
Yeah, look at the hands. Dude, the stacked up skeletons. Or I guess, are they frozen, I guess? Dude. Reminds me of Izumo? Maybe.
Just for it to feel like...
Okay, wait a moment.
So,
What's the point in
what's
this
the
process?
point in this process? Just for it to feel like a ceremony? Well, it's not like I have a right to complain about ceremonies.
Huh.
I
mourn for worlds that can no longer laugh. Fascinating. Also, dude, are these all just fucking corpses? That's wild. This is the Lord Ravager that was previously known as the Chess Master. Oh. No one for the Abundance? I don't think... Not that we... Wait. Actually, have we... I don't think we've seen anyone for the Abundance, have we? I'm not fully sure. Same thing with Tiernan with Acheron. Whoops. Give the worlds that no longer laugh to Sparkle. She'll help them. Dear God.
worlds that can no longer laugh.
But yeah, this is an interesting thing for a Lord Ravager to say. You know?
Do you still remember what happened?
Do you sin thirster of nihility?
I saw a spot of light that dimmed the star.
Oh, it did more than just dim a star.
Existence itself was torn, leaving
And there's a Zephyro.
only a despairing
Sparing white. Enveloping both entropy and
enveloping
time.
both entropy and time.
I mean, to be fair, you're right. Like, there's no need for Nanook to have anyone go after Yaoshe when Lan is already doing that. You know, take advantage of the situation, of the dynamics. This is a little trippy.
We salute thee, blemished one. In defiance of the cosmic roots that bind all, we offer a magnificent ruin.
Together, beneath your gaze, we bear witness to a colleague's end.
This is Selenova.
Be it coronation or
We bear witness to a colleague's
end.
end.
Be it coronation or collapse, the end of their yearning is the same.
Very pretty. Very pretty. That's Archforger. Doesn't even have any lines.
That feels like formalism.
Ooh, the way that, like... Hold on. Like the transition here, you know? Or like the, I guess, switch over, whatever. Lord Ravager before Selenova? Yeah, I guess that makes sense.
Even if every genius
Yeah, and dude... Even if every genius in the
in the
cosmos
cosmos
dropped
dropped
dead.
what's that got to do with us?
That is a sick design.
Genius
Also, do
in
the symbols on the cubes have any meaning? Wait, they look kind of familiar. They look kind of familiar. Am I crazy, or do some of these look like core flame symbols? Am I crazy? I might be crazy. I don't know, maybe I'm crazy. Symbol of order. Yeah, what the eye here? I think. But what are the... Like, it's not the exact symbols, I think. Let me go back to just our paths. Let me search up both actually. HSR core flames. The middle one looked like from Genshin from what I read, but I'm not into Genshin. Yeah, oh yeah. Wait a moment. Wait, that's what I'm thinking of. I was too HSR brilled? HSR pilled, I think. Yes, it's wait. I mean, technically, well, not quite. But yeah. It's this one, I think. Well, yeah, this one kind of looks like the Traveler's constellation. Let me see. Let me see here. Nah, not quite. No. That's what it kind of reminded me at first. That's what it actually reminded me of. There is a it's not quite similar. No, never mind. I think Asat just asked, why do I have to join to kill the erudition when my job is to kill the elation? I mean, pretty much, like what does the death, like, even, you know, like, what does the erudition's death have to do with us, or with him at the very least?
In the cosmos drop dead. What's that got to do with us?
Us as in himself and the others, or us as in, you know, talking about himself in the fourth person? Lenny, welcome back!
Still not enough for you? The fools will only flounder in tears after the wise have been buried.
The fools will only flounder in tears after the wise have been buried. So basically, like, the erudition's death is, I guess, a criteria for Assad to also, you know, reach his destruction, I assume. Also, this.
Cease your chatter. The sun has risen from the end of time.
Sean Chiplock, baby! Slightly off topic. I think it's very interesting that he is voicing in the HSR trailer when technically he is still on, well, not on strike, but he is still withholding work in Genshin. So does this mean that, like, because, you know, like, I'm not gonna go to like the whole strike thing again. I just think it's interesting because Sean is like one of the people that, again, still is not coming back to voice in Genshin, but now that he's here, does this mean that, like, in his specific case, his issue isn't even with Hoyo or any specific Hoyo game, but rather like Genshin? Or maybe like the contract that he's under with Genshin's recording studio? Because like he said on his social media that like he is still like trying to negotiate for honestly like Sean so far I think is the only voice actor that is still that has not lost the plot at this point, because he has consistently said that like his goal is still to get AI protection in his contract. And that is still what he is fighting for. He has not really talked about like wanting Genshin to be, or Hoyo to become union or anything. He has just like been fighting like his own individual battle. But apparently that just counts for Genshin and not Star Rail. Hopefully Dan Hung gets a plot too. As far as I know from what I've heard, Nicholas actually wants to come back. So hopefully he will be. Hopefully, please. But that's just interesting. Like at first, when you know, like the strike ended, and I saw him posting on Blue Sky that like just because the strike ended does not mean that the collective work refusal people are doing for Genshin ends, and that he was still going to be, you know, striking, or quote striking, not technically striking. I was a little like disappointed, but now it seems that like he's not, like his goal is in the end still just AI protection, because he said that like his contract specifically does not have those. And this maybe means that like whatever like recording studio he's under for Genshin does not have that contract, or does not have AI protection. That was, I don't know. Either way, he voices Diluc in Genshin, one of my favorite characters. Sean Chiplock, honestly, like pretty, from everything I've seen about him, pretty cool guy, pretty chill guy, very very respectful, very nice. And I hope that things work out for him. And if not, then at least this means that it's not going to mean that like even if he gets recasted in Genshin, doesn't mean that he's not going to be in any Hoyo game anymore. So, you know, I know someone that will crash out monumentally if he doesn't. Yeah, I want Nicholas back. If they had to fucking recast Caleb and Rachel, weeks, or I guess like a month or so, less than 2 months, like less than months before this fucking dumbass, bitch ass, unnecessary, stupid strike ends, then at least let us keep Dan Hung, please. Anyway, Sean Chiplock in HSR, fuck yeah.
When Iron Team finally breaks its ship.
Also, the sun has risen from the end of time. The sun has risen from the end of time. Hold on.
Cease your chatter.
The what?
Has risen from the end of time.
I guess like his. Also, that weapon looks very cool. I guess I was referring to like his. I guess white hole instead of black hole.
Calculations will meet the end.
But who could say that Machiavelli on a new journey won't bring another salvation?
Trailblazing always ends up igniting something, no?
Trailblazing always ends up igniting something. Sure. The finality. Mythos is the Enigmata. Just like a little clear up. I think this was just about, like, Zephyro himself, because Zephyro, it says that Zephyro, like, leaves, like, whatever, like that Zephyro left, like, a giant white hole in his wake instead of a black hole when, you know,
have been buried.
his destruction.
Cease your chatter. The sun has risen from the end of time.
When Iron Tomb finally breaks its shell, the erudition's calculations will meet the
Dude,
end.
Acheron versus Zephyro, that would be insane.
I'd say that Akavili on a new journey won't bring another salvation.
Trailblazing always ends up igniting something, no? Then...
Wait.
Blazing always ends up igniting something, no?
Wait. Oh, that's Zephyro. Okay, that's Zephyro. Right? Yeah, no, the weapon. That's probably, that's Zephyro. Yeah,
Then
yeah.
they'll achieve an even more majestic ruin.
Ooh.
Even
The Trailblaze will achieve an even more majestic... Wait, or is that...
something, no? Then they'll achieve an even more majestic ruin.
We're talking about, like, Nanook. Well, who is the they we're talking about here?
Prisoner who picked up Starfire.
Okay, and number one, that is epic. Number two...
If you are to become the first spark,
If you are to become the first spark, then come and
leave
leave.
the cave with me. And in that fable about the stars, we'll pen the prelude.
We'll pen the prelude of destruction. What is your deal, my guy? What is your deal here? Because, okay, so Lygas has said before that he isn't, like, or it's been, you know, like, basically stated that Lygas is allegedly an emanator of erudition. But I don't know, something about this doesn't feel very erudition to me. I don't know, something about this seems a little weird. And also, he does, low-key, he looks creepier this way. Huh. It does make it sound like Iron Tomb is Finon, which might be what this is all leading up to. Possibly. I think Lygas is Iron... I think Lygas is Iron Tomb, and he wants to make Finon a new Lord Ravager so he can escape from prison. Sounds so fucking funny. And Dr. Primitive seems like one. I mean, true. But at least Dr. Primitive, as, like, stupid kind of as it is, still has, like, some sort of, like, you know, still in some way, shape, or form is, like, hungry for knowledge, you know? Kind of still represents the erudition. But will pen the prelude of destruction. Like, that just feels like a very Lord Ravager thing to say. Which is fascinating. This is all very interesting. It could also be that Lygas is lying. It could very well be. He looks a lot more pleasant like this, not gonna lie. I prefer this Lygas. But dude, this. Can I see anything in here? No, it's just Finon. It's just Finon. Oh my god, I feel like I'm definitely gonna have to, like, rewatch this whole thing many more times and read and listen to people's theories about this because, oh boy. If Final becomes a Lord Ravager, what path would he attack? Ooh, that's a good question. That is a good question. Dude, a destruction, a Lord Ravager confronting the path of destruction? That would honestly be kind of wild. That would be kind of wild. It would be kind of funny. I think I'd kind of love that. Because I mean, in the end, like, there's gotta be someone, right? In a way. Also, you should react to keep Finance keep up with Star Rail. Is there, see, I already know about Finance Kid. Is there anything, like, interesting, like, lore-wise in there? To watch? Because then we'll skim through it. We'll skim through it. Lee, welcome in! Hope you're doing well today. We're so cooked, bro. This guy just blew up 4 planets to farm Hora. Ironton will reawaken, the erudition will fall, the prelude to destruction is upon us. My god, there's so much. I think Phylon is attacking the path of destruction itself because Nanook's destruction is self-destruct. God, my god, there's so much here. There's so much. Okay, you know what? Before we we're gonna take a little break after this, but first we're gonna skim this because I'm not gonna watch the whole 10 minutes. I'm not gonna watch the whole 10 minutes. We're gonna turn this down a little bit. We're gonna turn it up to, I don't know, 1.5 speed. 1.5. And we're just gonna skim this.
From ID's Elysiae to Akama, the innocent boy who once dreamed in the golden wheat fields is now the burden deliverer. He takes up every dream, wish, and expectation, forging himself into whatever the world needs him to be. He never looks back as he surmounts endless difficulties and endures mounting agony. He keeps running forward, hoping to write a different ending for this world he and his companions love so much.
ADHD final boss. I mean, it's just like because like I already know how he works, so.
Oh, do you know something?
I'm actually visiting here in the hopes of gaining more profound insights.
Then you come to the right place.
Where's fucking emojis?
Extends a warm welcome to the Council of Elders honorary member, chair of the Citizens Assembly, creator of Emporium Immersive Theater, Lord Lagus.
You are too kind. I'm only here today as an ordinary and engaged citizen.
Sure you are.
In public affairs.
Then let's hurry and look into this acclaimed hero.
It is kind of funny when they're running at 1.5 speed.
Titans and smart enough to win debates. Not only is he skilled in all arts,
of course he's fighting Nikador.
Humble and responsible. Truly an impeccable young man. These rumors are really hyping him up. Could I ask, are they all true?
They are indeed true, but there's no time to go into details. Let us focus on the main topic for this episode. Please continue your introduction.
When Final uses his basic attack, he deals physical damage to one designated enemy.
So I already know how he works. I'm probably gonna use him with. I don't know. I guess it depends on like it depends on, you know, like what I'll need for the other team. But generally, I'll probably use him with Bronya or Sunday, one of the two. I guess. I think like he actually needs. Oh, I don't know. I guess it depends on like how skill point costly he'll be.
Finan can activate his ultimate as long as he has enough core flames. Take note that if a teammate uses an ability on him, Finan's crit damage will increase for some turns.
Is it Fi over, chat? I just joined stream. Welcome in, Shaharia. We just finished reacting to it, like analyzing the second Myriad Celestia trailer. And now we're just like skimming through this, keeping up with Star Rail, just to check if there's anything like lore relevant here. Because I already know how his kid works. I've seen his animations and everything. So we're just gonna check if there's like anything relevant here, you know, any interesting lore tidbits. So you say, because Lycus is here. Yeah, no Chrysos air. I mean, technically they could have gotten cast, well,
causing all enemies to immediately take action. While possessing Soul Scorch, Vinen takes less damage and every enemy action increases Soul Scorch by 1 stack. When all enemies have taken action, transform Vinen immediately counters to deal
okay, wait, actually, by the way, I do want to say this, because it only struck me after watching the live stream last week. I think it's very interesting how Finon's kit basically incorporates, like, the other Titans mechanics. You know? Like, we have the Calamity Foundation and Creation Titans as, like, his 3 main abilities, but also, like, the abilities themselves are very remind a lot of other Titans, and by that notion also other Chrysos heirs. Can't really say anything for, like, Creation, because that one's just like a basic attack, and we don't really know. I guess, like, the visuals, you know. I guess technically if you connect Kefali to the Lord Ravager, and the Lord Ravager is Iron Tomb, and Finance literally splits space, then I guess there's the connection to, I guess, Kefali, maybe, possibly, I don't know. Just Amphoreus as a whole in that wait. In
Transform Vinen uses his enhanced basic attack to obtain skirt.
In this.
He deals physical damage to one designated enemy and adjacent targets. Using his enhanced skill 1. Transform Vinen.
Yeah, Fighter doesn't need healers. That's honestly really nice.
The same amount of skirts as the number of enemies on the field. And
this the Calamity ability, where he taunts enemies, he takes hits. The more hits he takes, the stronger his counter.
all enemies to immediately take action. While possessing Soul Scorch, Vinen takes less damage and every enemy action increases Soul Scorch,
Which, you know, is literally what Mighty does. And this is just straight up Nikador's blade. This is just straight up Nikador's strike. The trailer with all the Lord Ravagers, I really think Finon is being made to be the one who will kill Nanook, since it seems it's setting up every Lord Ravager opposing a path to destroy. Yeah, maybe. Oh, God, there's so much speculation here, or like room for speculation.
Enemies wish to hurt me, but they end up helping me. Who now dares to be my enemy? Who now dares to deny me?
Albert, are you good?
Could you possibly have profound insight into how to destroy the world?
No, stop talking nonsense. Using his enhanced skill 2.
Interesting question. And this is just straight up Aquila.
Scourge deals instances of physical damage to one random enemy. The more Scourge consumed, the more instances of damage he'll deal. When a set amount of Scourge consumed, Transform Vinen deals extra damage distributed evenly among all enemies.
And if you want to be creative, you can say that if you want to be creative and funny, you can say that the giant ass planet drop is just Lil Ika's fucking rocket launch. The sound effects are very good. You asked what supports would be good for him. There's an imaginary woman that works very well with him. Yukong will make her comeback. I can finally use her again. Hopefully I can get her E6 during Finance Bolts. I would have to get very lucky though, because I only have her E1. Owlbird VA seems like he's had so much fun. I'm guessing the Kefali part is the giant meteor, but Lil Ika is too funny. I mean, like the Foundation Titans are... Who are the Foundation Titans again? It's Aquila. I think... I forgot what exactly it was. Aquila is one of the Foundation Titans. Georios and Fagusa. Yeah. So Earth and Ocean. Then we have Oryx, Talanton, and Yanis as the Titans of Fate. Kefali, Cersei's, and Nestia as Titans of Creation. And for Calamity, we have Nikador, Thanatos, and Zagreus. Yeah. There we go, and we're back. Yeah, it's Aquila, Fagusa, and Georios. Yeah, Yukong and Tingyun are the right up. Yeah, with Yukong, the thing is, like, you're gonna have to speed tune her well because she doesn't, like, give an advance.
Enemies.
Oh, well.
Transform Biden will also unleash a final blow in his last action turn. The final blow deals ultimate damage evenly distributed among all enemies. After the final blow...
And I also didn't notice this, like, the end... I mean, number one, again, Cataclysm, baby. Number two, the way this closes off. Number one, this is just, like, fucking destruction of the universe. Number two is, like, closing a program. The way this ends. Yeah, Yukong is a wonky character because she doesn't advance your character. She only gives the buffs, and then basically your character has to act right after her.
All enemies. After the final blow, Biden ends his transformation.
And Donovan ship, yeah.
Should he continue to overcome his limits, he'll demonstrate even more endless possibilities on a bigger stage.
After unlocking a certain trace, Biden will obtain some core flames when he enters
March to Oblivion.
After unlocking a different trace, when teammates provide him with healing or shields, Biden's damage increases for some turns. When they provide him with energy regeneration effects via abilities, Biden gains some core flames instead. While exploring, Biden's presence in the lineup increases the team's max technique points. Biden's technique consumes 2 points to attack all enemies within a set radius. After entering
So
battle,
based.
using technique, Biden gains some scourge while regenerating some energy and recovering some skill points for his teammates. He also deals physical damage to all enemies at the start of every wave. His technique will immediately defeat normal enemies without entering battle.
God, finally I can get faster through Divergent Universe.
As using his skill or becoming the ability target of other units on the field. In order, he uses ultimate and transform.
Yeah, beginning of the end is wild.
He can accumulate special Scourge charge points by transforming and using his abilities while transformed. Consuming stacked Scourge points allows Transform Biden to use more powerful abilities to deal more damage to enemies.
It is basic speed tuning, yes. But the fact that, like, Yukong doesn't, like, rely on, you know, like, her own turns or the character's turns, it's just like... Hold on. With Yukong, it's like, once 2 characters have taken turn, her buff just ends, you know? Like it's a lot more limited. You know, than like Bronya or Sunday, who just auto-advance your character. Or not auto-advance, you know, like action advance your character. Yeah, and technically, you have to match it, so you use Yukong's skill, then her ult, and then before her, like, both, like, her skill buffs are up, you have to activate Finon's ultimate. So, it's a little, yeah. Because, like, her skill regularly gives attack bonus. Her ult, if her skill is still active, if her skill buff is active and you use her ult, then her ult additionally gives, like, I think, like, 25 to 30 crit rate and, like, 60-ish crit damage. And even then, it only lasts for, like, 1 turn. Maybe, like, it lasts for 1 character. Like, the next, it only lasts for the next 2 characters that take turns after her, depending on what Eidolon you have. So she is very wonky.
Like Biden, who give their all to eradicate the Black Tide's threats and protect this land. Let's now watch Biden fight on the front lines with his boundless bravery and tenacity. Biden enters battle via technique after his teammates have used theirs, dealing the first instance of damage to all enemies. A teammate uses their ult.
Yeah, they should definitely buff 4 stars. They should remember that 4 stars exist, honestly.
Biden quickly accumulates many core flames,
I feel like that would almost be an improvement if they just remembered that they exist.
Which gets him enough core flames to use his ultimate and transform. Transform Biden obtains Scourge. Faced with a second enemy wave, he immediately uses Foundation Star Death Burst and consumes existing Scourge to deal many instances of damage. Then, Transform Biden uses Creation Bloodthorn Fairy to gain Scourge. At the right time, he uses Foundation
Okay, yeah.
before Transform Biden. Biden uses the immediate
so this is just like a little showcase. Oh.
And this terrifying impact. And that's a wrap.
What a talented sapling.
You are very engaged. Sorry to disappoint.
Very engaged. Yeah.
Now.
Oh, no. It's not too late.
Sir, what exactly is your job at M4S?
Only some unimportant behind-the-scenes work.
Sure. Fish.
Just an engaged citizen concerned about the future of the cosmos.
Sure you are. Sure you are. Right. They buff 4 stars by making them 5 stars. Yeah. Okay. Now, we are going to take a break. And after that, we have one more video to react to that is not HSR. I'm gonna turn the music back on. Really wait, it's not lore accurate for Crisis Heirs to be 4 stars is the biggest horseshit, and it makes me hope the story designers don't ever get a say in what character can be a 4-star. Yeah, no, it makes no sense. Like, they could have made some characters 4 stars, you know? And even then, they could have just given us non-Chrysos heirs. Literally, they could have given us, like, other non-Chrysos heir 4 stars and called it a day. Like, there's options. Give us Cartoonist! Dude! Add Cartoonist to the list of 4 stars that we need. Cartoonist, Siobhan, fucking Scott. Screw him even. I don't know, fucking Steven. Like, they have so many options. Legit think they gave the story devs too much control, personally. I like, give us Siobhan or Screw. Yeah, exactly. Like, Anyway, to this banger song, we will take a break. I need to get some food because I am hungry, and then we're gonna react to one more thing, and that's gonna be a yapper, so I also need to let my voice rest for a little bit. So, 10-ish minutes. We're back. Where am I? Hello? VTube Studio? Why am I gone? Why am I gone? I have poofed. I apparently need to reopen VTube Studio. So give me just a moment here, but I am back in spirit. I may still be in the void, but technically I am back. I'll say I do agree with Shaharia while my model loads back up. That, yeah. Emphoria's, I mean, yeah, Emphoria's has had a huge problem with, I mean, we haven't had a 4-star since literally, am I back? Where am I? Hello? Hello? Why am I gone? Why am I gone? No, I am in the void. Anyway, to finish my thought, I do like we haven't had a 5-star since 2.5. Molza was our last 4-star. I mean, Molza was our last 4-star. It has probably been almost a year since then. So it is really fucking time. Also, hell yeah, let's go, Sesbian Lex. Layer below the YouTube? No, it is above. I don't know why that just happened. I don't know why that suddenly is a thing. Let me try closing it again. Huh. Let me, oh wow, now VTube Studio in general just doesn't want to close. Well, that's weird. Okay, let me go to the task manager, I guess. Are we still are we still back? Are we still here? We're still in the void. Okay. We're in the void. Literally just as I was right-clicking on VTube Studio to end the task, it swapped over, like OBS moved where VTube Studio was before, and then I accidentally closed VTube Studio. So we are currently voiding out. Yes. Well, in the meantime, while I figure this out, I'm gonna eat my strawberries and my toast. So, hold. This time I'm gonna wait until Task Manager fully loads everything. Okay. And VTube Studio. Open it back up. Do this and do that. But maybe now that I accidentally closed... Yep, and we're back. Okay. Okay, so I am back. That bag? I am back. Hello, I am back. Bag is me. Let me move this back and let me do this. Okay. And I can turn the music off anyway because we are going to be moving over to another video. We are back. And, oh god. I'm going to have to give myself a little break here because my voice is already fading and I feel like this one, next one's going to be a big yapper. So, anyway, let me close out some of these. Okay. So, last but not least, we have one more video to react to today. And those who have been following my streams, my content for a while know that this is a topic that I've talked about on multiple occasions, that I feel that I feel a certain way about, that I feel pretty strongly about, and that I think is a valid issue to discuss. I stumbled upon this video in my YouTube homepage, which is called "The Problem with Male Characters in Gacha Games" by Keepers. And we're gonna react to it. Because there is a problem with male characters in gacha games. Said problem being, among others, that there just barely are any. So, this will also give me a little chance to rest my voice for a little bit, you know, just watching and listening to this person's arguments, while I eat. So, actually, wait, I need to make sure that... Yep, I need to swap the audio track real quick. Almost forgot about that. Okay, now it should be good. Volume should be fine. So let's go. Lighter! Ah, Brand. Wish I could have gotten a chance to get attached to you.
Ever since the launch of Hoyo vs. Genshin Impact, the gacha gaming audience has never been as large and diverse as it is today.
True.
What was once a medium of game catered primarily towards straight male demographics has now become a medium for all people alike. And naturally, this has affected Hoyo's portfolio moving forward, as we moved away from the female cast of Honkai Impact 3rd to the varied cast of Genshin Impact, then Honkai Star Rail, and now Zenless Zone Zero. As these titles become more widespread about the day, their audiences become even more varied than ever before, so much so that the medium as a whole has experienced developments that no one would have expected. Example being the widely renowned gacha game Love and Deed Space from the developer Infold, a title well known for its male cast that caters primarily towards straight female audiences.
Yes. But also, I mean, to be fair, before that we also had Tears of Themis, which is also, as far as I know, an otome gacha. And although it is a gacha game, I would not necessarily put it in the same category as games like Genshin, ZZZ, Wuwa and stuff, because Love and Deep Space is like specifically an otome game. It is designed to be dating sim alike. I love my gay human Puss in Boots. Funnily enough, the gacha that I started with, Fire Emblem Heroes, doesn't really have said problem, but yeah. Currently there are 65 female characters and 34 male characters in Genshin? We're missing one. Did you not count Aloy? Genshin has held the 2-to-1 ratio for a while, but the thing is, they've held it. Who? oh, not the Traveler. Okay, fair.
The fact that the game such as this was able to compete on the same level as Hoyoverse shows just how much the gacha gaming medium has evolved over these years. Yet, despite these developments, there has been some discourse stirring the gacha gaming circle as of late. While yes, there definitely has been a larger variety of characters than ever before, some players still express concern regarding the cast of these titles, most notably, the lack of male characters.
Yep.
And the lack of melanin, but that's a topic for another day. Of course, I don't think this should be surprising. As I said, the gacha gaming medium was originally built upon catering towards straight males,
originally,
an abundance of female characters, while male characters remain the outliers.
Which, still weird, because why should straight men not be able to enjoy men? Like, that's just like really never mind at this point. Sure, boobs, tits and ass, whatever, fan service, whatever, but like, these are the same kind of people that would complain about a female protagonist in like AAA games, you know? Like, make it make sense.
But the year is 2025, with titles such as Genshin Impact and Honkai Star Rail creating some of the most popular male characters that gacha games have ever seen.
Sunday Mentor!
So we ask the age-old question, is the lack of male characters really a problem in the gacha gaming space? Or is it just a non-issue that is blown up by a loud minority?
It's a problem. It is a problem. For sure. Excuse me, I'm eating. It is a problem. Is it like a groundbreaking, like, is it a fucking disaster? Is it a crisis? no, probably not. You know, like, people, it is nothing to like get extremely heated over and to like go to like extremes over, of course, as pretty much any gacha topic is. But it is a problem. Within the gacha sphere, it is a problem. You are right, Drapslayer. The lack of sample Kozuki is also very disturbing. I think every game should have a sample Kozuki. The lack of sample Kozuki in gacha games is also a big issue.
Let's talk about the problem with male characters in gacha games.
Yep.
To better capture the concerns regarding the cast of these games, let's run through the numbers of the previously mentioned titles, diving into each of their gender ratios, and this is excluding protagonists and their separate forms. In games such as Honkai Impact 3rd and Love and Deep Space, their roster is exclusively made up of one gender, that being female and male respectively. No surprises there. In Genshin Impact, the roster as of version 5.7 is composed of 34 males and 54 females, for a total of 88 characters, making that a gender ratio of roughly 1 to 1.5.
Yeah, like, usually it varies, but it's roughly 1 to 2, roughly. Dude, a sample XP in Genshin and ZZZ, I would go absolutely fucking insane. Same with the Boot Hill XP. We're gonna get the fucking Aventurine XP in with Varka, probably.
Which is rather healthy for a gacha game on this scale. In Honkai Star Rail, the roster as of version 3.3 is composed of 24 males and 46 females, for a total of 70 characters, making that a gender ratio of almost 1 to 2. A bit more imbalanced than its predecessor, but I would still say that is within reason. In Zenless Zone Zero, however, the roster as of version 2.0 is composed of 9 males and 27 females, for a total of 36 characters, making that a gender ratio of an equal 1 to 3.
However, the thing with that is, while yes, that is true, ZZZ, it's not as noticeable. Because, and this is a point that I'm going to touch upon more later, yes, we do have more women than men in ZZZ. Quite a bit in comparison to other games. But number one, the cast in general is just smaller. You know, it's 9 to 27. You know, we don't have like 60, 70 to 100 characters in the game yet. And number two, the male characters are relevant. 1.7, like 1/2 of 1.7 has literally been all about Hugo and, by association, Lycon. Same with 1.6. 2.0 was more so Yixuan focused. We had what's his name? Yixuan, I think is his name. And Pan Yinhu here and there. We've had Damien here and there. But they've been there. You know, they've been present. Which is why usually at least in DZZ, I haven't noticed it a lot so far. Because these characters, they have presence. You know? Male characters still get their own story quests and stuff. So, yeah.
This is the most egregious example among the Horrorverse titles, with 9 male characters that include the likes of Lycon and the Bears. Now there is one more gacha game that I want to discuss, because I think this game has also been in the limelight as of late, especially regarding this gender ratio discourse.
Ah, yes.
I want to talk about Kuro Games' Wuthering Waves, a title that was released around the same time as that.
Yes.
I want to talk about Kuro Games' Wuthering Waves.
Kuro Games, Wuthering Waves.
A title that was released around the same time as that of Zenless Zone Zero. Looking at the numbers, as of version 2.4, Wuthering Waves has a roster that is composed of 8 males and 25 females, for a total of 33 characters, making that a gender ratio of just above 1 to 3, which is actually worse than that of ZZZ's. And when you take into account future characters that were teased, the ratio is looking rather bleak for Wuwa. And even if these ratios may not look too bad to some folk, there has been plenty of recent discussion regarding the lack of male characters.
Not just the lack of male characters, but the lack of male character representation. the reason why Wuwa sticks out so much more in comparison to Hoyoverse games is because Wuwa's men literally have no reason to exist. As like just putting it simply. They're like, apart from maybe Scar, and that's a hard maybe. No male character has like any relevance. I feel like, unfortunate as it is, you could remove like every male character from the game besides maybe Jian. Besides maybe Jian and Scar, you could remove every man from the game and there would be no real difference because they have no real plot relevance. They barely appear at all. Brad, don't listen to... Bean, you've played Wuwa, the story. How much screen time has Brand had in this, like in the 2.x story so far? How much relevant screen time has he had? Genuine question. Because from what I've seen, it ain't much. It is not much. It is not a lot. At this point, like, Wuwa, they may as well just fucking remove their male characters. They may as well fucking gender bend them and add them to the fucking rover harem. Because we don't even get that. We don't even get the get the rover harem treatment with the men. No, it's all just like, that's a bro, and that like they're friends and they're bros and they, you know, they're cool with each other, except for Scar, who is obsessed with Rover. Rightfully, well, not necessarily rightfully so, but you know, we stand simping obsessive king in fiction. Only 3 males get an okay amount of screen time. 3? 3? Who are the 3? Jian had screen time early on, in like 1.0. Scar had screen time in like 1.0. Xiang Liao got an event and then ceased to exist. Kalcharo didn't even get a story quest as far as I recall. He just appeared. Ling Yang, I think was his name, got a story quest and nothing else. Yuan Wu existed. Yuan Wu spawned into existence for 2 seconds during a cutscene. You know what? Alto, yes. Alto got a good chunk. Honestly, like, I fucking love Alto. I love him. But when was the last time we've seen Alto have any sort of relevance after Act, was it 3, I think, of you know, the first big arc with him and Encore? Like, after that, pretty much nothing. So, you know what? I'll give you the 3. And guess what? Those 3 characters were all 1.0. They were all 1.0. So the point stands.
This is more notable in a game like Genshin Impact, where despite having the most balanced ratio among the titles, players have still voiced their concerns about the lack of male characters. This is because, within the 5.x cast alone, there are only 4 new male characters in comparison to 12 new female characters.
And even then, hold on, let me finish chewing. And even then, Ororon, very story present. Very present in all the Archon quests. Kinich, not as much. He was kind of just around. He could have gotten more. He did get some spotlight in the, what's it called? Whirling Waltz, the last Fontaine event. He did get some spotlight there. Aoife, kind of like the Kave of Natlan, where we've known about him since like 5.0, I think. But we only met him in 5.5-ish. Dahlia, we've heard about. And you know, recently he's very recent. But he was in the Archon quest, at least a little bit. And even then, it didn't stick out as much because the male characters that we had were at least to some extent story relevant. They had a presence. Plus, we had non-playable characters, yet, like Capitano, who had a very strong presence. Yeah, Wuba is generally like such a shame because, like, listen, I didn't even know that apparently Shangli Yao and Mordefi. Nora, welcome in. How you doing? I didn't even know until recently that Mordefi and Shangli Yao were supposed to be like friends or connected in any way because Mordefi didn't even appear in Shangli Yao's event, like, at all. In fact, I don't remember when he appeared last after the main quest, if ever. Like, dude. True. In Kenichi's case, it might also have been, you know, the no voice that could have heard him. Whose objection is that? Levier, my boy. One of the four had a strong presence, two were there, and one who? You're referring to Dahlia? Dahlia's very recent. We've known about Dahlia for a while. Especially if you've been keeping up with leaks, then you've known about Dahlia for a while because Dahlia has been like leaked pretty damn early on. And fucking Daily Dahlia is an icon at this point. They are a legend. But even then, you know, even with only 4 male characters, playable male characters, it's still more than what we're getting in Wuba. So there's that.
With only one of them being a 5-star character.
That's true, yeah.
Another notable example is Wuthering Ways. Since the release of 1.0, there have only been 2 new male characters in comparison to 15 new female characters. And even though there is one more male character down the line, that's still only 1 new male character among 5 new female characters.
And you can't even bring the argument that like, oh, maybe like 1.x Genshin was similar in that regard. No, it wasn't. Because the lore relevant characters that we got in 1.x were Venti, Zhongli, Albedo, Kaya, Child, Xiao. Diluc was there in the main story. He still has some relevance. Anyone else that like really sticks out? I mean, Dainsleif, obviously, which already is like what, 7, 8 characters. So there's that.
On the contrary, we have titles like Honkai Star Rail, which technically has a worse gender ratio than that of Genshin Impact. Yet at the same time, there isn't as much talk about this game's gender ratio. This is because, as of version 3.0, the players have already been introduced to 2 new male characters, Finon and Mighty, and even though they were not playable at the time, the prospect of them being playable in the future is enough to satiate the fans. And this is just shortly after the addition of Sunday, who is arguably one of the more popular characters in gacha games as of late. That is not to say that there are suddenly more males than females, however. Finon and Mighty are only 2 characters among a cast of 5, 6 if you include the Herda, 8 if you include all the Trivios. But because the male characters actually feel present in the game, in addition to the recent release of Anaxa, players are less likely to complain about an unbalanced gender ratio. Just look at how relevant a character like Finon is in HSR story, and compare that—
like, now we know that Finon is literally like, they just threw all the budget at him.
To a character like Brant in Wuwa, who only really shows up every so often and doesn't contribute too much to the overall narrative. So
and there it
because
is.
Of the characters that have been relevant in recent times, the lack of male characters is more noticeable than ever before, leading to rising concerns. Of course, this can all change on a whim. For all we know, these gacha games could decide to release 3 or 4 male characters back to back, and I'm sure someone out there is having an aneurysm at that thought. But
surely. I've never played a gacha game in my life, chat, should I? If you have self-control, I would highly recommend it, because these games are free, and they actually do have a good story. It depends on what you're looking for. It depends on your priorities in terms of characters, you know, plot in general, story, gameplay. character dynamics, of which some games have more than others. HSR is a good game. HSR is a good game. It is a good it's a turn-based RPG gameplay-wise. It's a visual novel story-wise. That's the main thing you need to know. And the main thing to go in with is that it's a great game. Personally, I love the HSR story, but keep in mind that it's gonna have some visual novel style writing. And if that doesn't bother you, then fucking go for it. I would highly recommend it. Same with Genshin and ZZZ and probably Honkai Impact 3rd, honestly. HSR is probably the most inclusive with genders and focus on the story. Can't count Honkai Impact 3rd because every character added is lore important and of course a female-only cast. Listen, but even then, people still know about some of the male characters in Honkai Impact 3rd because they've made such a huge impact. People know about Kevin. People know about fucking Auto Apocalypse. I knew about Auto Apocalypse, and I've never played the game. I knew about Kevin, and I've never played the game. I knew about Velt, and I've never played the game. Even Dan Hong was the one that went to Amphoris instead of someone like March or Himiko. Yeah, exactly. And Dan Hong is one of the most popular characters, period, in the game. HSR of the games, the gacha that I play is probably the best male, but that's not a high bar with the games I've played. Fair. Heard Limbus Company has good males and FGO. In a playable sense, yeah.
But as of the making of this video, the current trend of character releases leave much to be desired for those who do want a more balanced gender ratio, or even just another male character or two.
And I'm not gonna lie, this exact reason, this exact issue is also why I am so incredibly disinterested in most, if not all, of the new gacha games coming out. Because you see the gacha game and you're like, hey, the environment looks pretty, maybe the animations, the aesthetics, it all looks very pretty, very nice. And then you watch the trailer and there's 10 women, and if you're lucky, 1 or maybe a very off chance 2 men. And they appear for 0.5 seconds. So literally there's just nothing. There's just nothing. Which is why I don't care about Ananta, I don't care about Silver Palace, I don't really care about what's it called? Neverness to Everness. I don't really care about any of these games. As pretty as the women may look, it just gets boring. It just gets boring. Just from a variety standpoint, it's just it's just so boring. And that's the only new gacha game that I'm interested in so far is what's it called? I think Rewinding Cadence, because while that game also seems to have a mainly female cast, it also has a female protagonist. And a female protagonist, there's no male protagonist as far as I know. And that probably means that said female character is going to have their own personality. She's not going to be a big self-insert, at least not for men. And listen, I'll say it. The fact that not only do most of these upcoming gacha games have mainly women, but also the fact that you can choose a male character, that just adds on to it. Because you know how fucking annoying people are going to be about it. And you know how annoying the devs can be about it if they go the woo-wah route of making every other woman fall in love with the MC. So I'm just tired of it, that's what it boils. I'm just tired of that formula. Also, yes, Nora. This is YouTube and Twitch chat combined, so you're gonna see some peeps from YouTube chat as well. Also, none of these pretty environments and good writing helps if the characters devolve into protagonist sims at some point. Exactly. That's why I say character dynamics are so incredibly important. They are so important. if the characters don't have like fleshed out, well-written relationships with each other, I could not care less. I could not give two fucks. So there's that as well. Picks female in every gacha because the girlfriend picks only male. Hey, you know what? That's fair. Should we make Logan get a gacha game and have him spend all his money on it? I mean, the first part, yes. Don't make him spend all his money. Like, listen, I am I'm an advocate for responsible spending. You know, like I am F2P in all my gacha games. Like, you don't need to spend money to comfortably play any Hoyo game. I would love if he eventually got into Hoyo games. It would be lovely. Don't mention YouTube chat. Twitch has been stinky with that. Yeah, I saw. It makes no sense. That's why I liked Vera and PGR, where the first time you meet her, she uses MC as a distraction and literally almost gets their head blown off. I need PGR to make characters like that. That, honestly, based as hell. Based as hell. Like, I wouldn't even mind, you know, the option between female or male and a majority female cast if there wasn't always the non-trivial, the non-zero risk, the fairly high risk of most of these characters just becoming fucking MC simps. And that's just annoying. It'd be funny to set up a Logan Robo GoFundMe so you can get money for gacha games. Nora, you are mean. You are mean. And also, Nora, listen. You gotta ease him into it. You can't start off with that. You know? You gotta, first, you need to convince him that the game is easy to play F2P, that he doesn't need to spend money, then you get him attached, and then you can get started on pushing him to spend. And Wu, any characters like that? I mistyped. If you did, I didn't even pay attention to it. Billy Main speaking in, clearing the hard content with just the cutting hairs. Based. I would rather have like 99% of the cast being against the MC and have them all really good interaction with other characters. Same. Instead of the opposite. Yeah, dude. I'll have characters that are like hostile to the MC like 24/7, but they have a established good relationship with each other any day of the week. Because that just gives, it's just so much more entertaining. It gives these characters so much more depth. His birthday is soon too. What is Logan's birthday? Also, Zenless kind of has been doing that, but it has been mostly the fandom since most of the characters sim for both proxies, so I don't know. But even then, it's both proxies, and it's like both genders, you know? Like, this man right here is literally the #1 fucking proxy simp. This man right here, dude. I should know, but I don't know. Whoops. That's why I liked Farina for just being an unlikable brat at the start. Still Genshin's best character in my opinion. Based. I like Farina. Anyway, let's continue. Lighter, my beloved. Ride or die for proxy and brother you can die.
Why exactly are male characters less common?
Oh, Bean, I'm sure he realizes he's flirting. He absolutely realized. Did you realize that, like, there's one Frost event where he buys the proxy flowers, and apparently those flowers, I forgot what exactly they were, but they can stand for, like, I think remembrance, first love, and something else. Bro knows. Oh, he knows. Absolutely. He definitely knows what he's doing. And that makes it even better because he is just an absolute loser. He is just a straight up simp. And I love it.
This may seem obvious, but there are some semantics to discuss. Despite the explosion of new players onto the gacha scene, who come from all walks of life, a majority of the gacha gaming circle is still primarily made up of straight males, which shouldn't be a surprise given that this demographic was what the medium was initially built upon. Just because the circle has become more diverse doesn't mean that the core audience has left. In fact, it has only grown ever since, no thanks to the growing popularity of gacha games.
Yes. But, you know, then there's also the question, like, why is, like, why do we still have more men than women? You know? Is it maybe, among other things, because there is nothing enticing for women to really get into? There's nothing for women to really, like, sink their teeth into, like there is for that specific male audience, you know? The Vivian before we got Vivian, I don't know if this is a good comparison, since I don't play ZZZ. They're kind of different. Like, Vivian is definitely, like, more obsessed, for which, you know, she has her reasons. Lighter is just, like, he's like a pathetic, like, he's like a sopping, wet golden retriever, you know? Like, whenever the proxy's around, he's like, he wants to show off, he wants to be praised, he wants to be complimented, but on the other hand, he can't take compliments, but he wants the proxy to pay attention to him. It's very sweet and also very loser behavior, and I love him for that. It's a third. Oh.
This would also entail the growth of other demographics that may still prefer female characters over male characters, such as lesbians or Path to Nowhere fans. And because these demographics make up for a majority of the audience, female characters tend to guarantee a profit more often than not, whereas male characters bring less so.
At least that is the argument. And I call bullshit on that exact argument until the male characters actually consistently get the exact same treatment as female characters. Once the male characters get the same attention, the same plot relevance, the same marketing as the female cast, then you can compare the two. Other than that, you literally cannot make that comparison because it makes no sense. Yeah, dude, Final is about to go the fuck off. Like, listen. Last time I checked, your favorite waifu didn't break fucking top-up systems. You know who did? Jing Yuan. Last time I checked, no female character in HSR broke the fucking payment system. But Jing Yuan did. Our general did.
Here's a food for thought. Do the developers behind these titles bank on their predominantly male audience to cash in on a male character? Or do they just play it safe and make another female character that is more likely to raise their profit margins? Of course, they are going to take the safe route, because as bleak as it is, these gacha games are meant to make money. Well, all games do, but gacha games especially. And as much as we can say devs listened, they can only listen so much until they need to invest into another nuclear reactor.
Listen, devs listened, but who do they listen to? Who are they really listening to? Yes, Jing Yuan's banner literally, like, you look up, Jing Yuan's banner literally broke the payment system because people were wailing so hard on it. It was fucking hilarious. Casters and Jing Yuan. Did Casters do that too? Did Casters break the top-up system too? Which would make sense because she's an anniversary character and, you know, global passive. Reminder that the whole HI3 community wanted Kevin as a character and now they have Finon. Oh, yeah, dude. It's gonna go the fuck off.
I mean, be player friendly. And that's not even covering other factors, such as female characters often being given more time and attention by the developers. HSR may have been better about this whole ordeal, but that's not to say it is completely for your fault. Take a look at their version 3.2, where Casters was given all the love and care in her design, her kit, and her marketing. She even received an exclusive animation to goad players into pulling her when they first launched the update. Now compare that to Anaxa, the other character of version 3.2, who couldn't even afford a unique animation for his follow-up attack.
And even then, personally, I would say he was more story relevant than Casters was.
And they are both considered anniversary characters, by the way. Another factor that favors female characters over male characters is the meta. If we take another look at HSR, you notice that all the meta-defining characters have been female. Ron May, Acheron, Robin, Firefly, the Herda, Tribi, Castris. They all have shifted the meta in some meaningful way. And while there definitely
Bro
are
forgot
male
Sunday.
characters who are great on their own accord, rarely are they ever considered meta-defining, aside from maybe Sunday. But even
There we
then,
go.
his potential has yet to be fully realized. Now, Finon could potentially uproot this trend,
Oh,
but
he
would
will.
be an outlier rather than being the norm. And this
Yeah.
applies not just to HSR, but to most of these other gacha games as well. So with all this in mind, am I saying that the only way to get more male characters is just to drop more money on them? Everything I said up to this point does trend towards that conclusion, right?
It's part of it, yeah.
Well, maybe. But at the end of the day, this is all just purely hypothetical. Not to sound like a hypocrite, but I want to clarify that the revenue argument is not completely sound. It is an objective fact that female characters make more money. But it is also an objective fact that they tend to release more often than male characters, which
Yep.
means those who want to pull female characters will naturally have to spend more. There are
That, and again, they just invest more in the female characters. That's just how it is. So obviously they sell better. With Anaxa, his ultimate is unique for each enemy, as each enemy has a unique constellation. So they do? I have never noticed that if they do. That is cool, but you know, even that, like Boot Hill has that as well in like a simpler fashion, but you know, he has the enemy on his wanted poster. Jace couldn't even get this shop working for a bit. God damn. Did Firefly or Robin break the shop? Not as far as I recall, no. You can hear the anger. Listen, I don't want to repeat myself.
are not going to have enough free pulls to get most, if
Yeah,
not
the wanted
all of
posters are
them,
like very
whereas
basic.
those who want to pull male characters are given more time to save their spendings. Of course, that doesn't stop them from pulling female characters and vice versa, but the fact stands, female characters are granted more spending opportunities than male characters are.
Yep.
Besides this, you also have to ask the question, why would fans of male characters want to spend money on these games when said games don't look to respect their wishes in the first place?
Literally. I log into Woowa, I pull for only the male character, and I log back out and I leave the game to rot until the next male character releases, because that's literally all I can do, because nothing else entices me about that game.
A game like Woo is already on track to releasing only 2 or 3 male characters a year. Male characters that are most likely going to be sidelined by their female counterparts.
Yep.
So why would these fans even bother financially supporting the game? Why would anyone want to gamble their money on the hopes that these games add more male characters when that was never a guarantee in the first place? This whole argument of husbando fans need to spend more money to get more husbandos has always been hypothetical with no concrete evidence.
And like, there's no point, you know? Like, that's high risk and very little chance of like getting rewarded for it, you know? Like, it's like that argument makes no real sense, because there's no guarantee that they won't just pump that money into more waifus, into more female characters that, you know, are like the same formula over and over.
Just look at Genshin Impact. I can't say for certain that characters like Ito, Hayato, and Sino sell banners, and the female characters have always outsold their male counterparts.
And still, Ito is one of their favorite children. He is in every event. Ito is, to this day, he is everywhere. Sino is our resident TCG freak. Although it's been a while since he's been around, you know? But even then, even these characters have a presence.
Yet, Genshin still chose to debut several 5-star male characters almost back to back.
Yep.
So clearly,
I love that.
Genshin still chose to debut several 5-star male.
But yeah, listen, dude. Like, 3.x was pretty much stacked. Like, 3.x especially was like stacked with male characters. We had the whole Aggravate quartet. We had Alhaitham, Kaveh, Tignari, and Sino. We had Wanderer, Baiju in 3.6. That's 6 characters. Fontaine, we had Linny, Nuvilet, Risley, Sethos, Fremine, although, you know, less present, but he was still there. That's still 5. You know, like, Ito truly is our real Mr. Worldwide. Child is our well, he's yeah. Our Mr. is worldwide.
Characters almost back to back. So clearly, sales did not determine the output of their characters. And if revenue was the sole reason as to why male characters are less common, then why not create more male 4-star characters?
Exactly.
Characters like Yoo-hoo and Lumi were never going to sell banners. So if a game were to release 4-star characters, having some be male wouldn't conflict with anyone's interest.
And also, okay, he's gonna get to it. And also, Gallagher, literally one of the best sustains in the fucking game. To this day.
Were to release 4-star characters, having some be male wouldn't conflict with anyone's interest. And that's another female 4-star character, isn't it?
Yep.
Regardless of whether we agree or disagree with these
Yeah,
reasons,
LSP Day was
at the
a
end
couple
of the
days ago.
day, we can only guess as to why gacha games are hesitant to release more male characters. With that being said, should players just not voice their opinions for more male characters? This
course they
may
should.
just be me trying to be optimistic, but even with the so-called lack of male characters, there are still more of them nowadays than there was some time ago. Going back to HoYoverse, their road to acclaim started with titles that only featured female characters, a direction that they could have just continued. Yet instead, they decided to take a risk. In Honkai Impact 3rd, they proposed the idea of playable male characters, albeit to a rather cold reception, but then decided to release titles like Tears of Themis, which is the complete opposite of their prior games.
Which I will say, honestly, like, say what you will about HoYoverse as a company. You know? Like, they're not perfect, they have their issues. But when it comes to, like, branching out, they're really on top of their game. They don't give in to, like, incel rage and you know, fucking whining about whatever incels fucking rage about, whatever incels cry and bitch about every day. They don't really give in to that unless it comes with, like, literal legal consequences, or, you know, they are being threatened. Like, it comes to literal, like, threats on someone's life. Like, except for, like, the extreme cases, they don't cater to those people. They do their thing, you know, for better or for worse. And listen, I'd rather they not listen at all than listen to that group of people more than anyone else. Gallagher actively negatively impacting the 5-star abundance characters? For real, dude. We're getting a Hoyo Pokemon game, true. With Blade in it! Oh man!
As well as this small little title known as Genshin Impact, choosing not to appeal
Small
to just
little indie
one
game.
audience, but rather to everyone. And even beyond just Hoyo's portfolio, take a look at Kuro Games' Punishing Grey Raven, a title that unapologetically took after Honkai Impact 3rd, and yet, they still chose to include male characters in their roster when they could have simply played it safe. Just ignore the last year or so of character releases. And
I was gonna say, like, isn't PGR also notoriously known for having, like, very few male characters?
that's not even mentioning some long-running titles that have had their fair share of beloved male characters, like Gilgamesh from Fate Grand Order, or
Yep.
Sandalphon from Grand Blue Fantasy. I'm sure that there are plenty of other examples that escape my mind, but the point stands. Change has happened before, and nothing is stopping change from happening now. Regardless of how discouraging it is to want more male characters, just know that the environment back then was much less receptive than it is today. And yet these games still somehow found a way to bring male characters into the fold. So long as players make their voices heard, then the developers would maybe, possibly consider listening. For example, with the recent announcements of Chu Yuan in Wuthering Waves, he has received an incredibly positive reception by not just global, but by CN as well. Revenue
As they
aside,
should.
if that isn't a telltale sign of male characters being in demand, then I don't know what is. The big takeaway from all of this is that people should obviously voice their opinions, so long as they are being rational. And this applies
And
to
respectful.
both ends, not just to Husbando fans. Because let me just say, telling someone to just go play Love and D-Space is not a sound argument. For one, this does not apply to those who like both male and female characters, which is more common than not. And two, this assumes that male characters are the only thing they care about.
And also, it assumes that, again, Love and Deep Space is a separate category. Love and Deep Space is an ultimate game. It is, in essence, a dating sim. And that's why, I forgot which game it was that Sven recommended. I forgot what it was called. It was something bang bang, whatever. I don't know. It was some like a game with a female protagonist, majorly like, or like maybe exclusively male cast, something about mafia. I forgot. But it's also an Otome game, as apparently, or an Otome style game. And while those games are nice, these games already exist. Like, that is already an entire established genre, you know? Like, we have many popular Otome games already. I want a game that has, like, ideally, and listen, it is unfortunate that I have to say that there's probably like extremely coping and it's never going to happen. But I want a game that has ideally at least roughly a 1-to-1 ratio, where it's just equal across the board. Is that ever going to happen? Probably not. Am I still going to hope for it to happen? Yeah. Because the thing is also with these people that like go like, oh, just go play Love in Deep Space or whatever. Do you think we want male characters only to romance them? Do you think that is the only reason why we want that? Like, no. I couldn't care less about self-inserting into, you know, a female protagonist and then having like virtual dates with these fuckers. I couldn't care less about that. I want character interactions. I want these characters to be their own people, to not just... I don't want a reverse harem. I don't fucking want a reverse harem. I want a game that is like Hoyoverse games, like WooWa. Well, maybe not like WooWa in most aspects. But, you know, there's like other story-based games that is not just catering to the romance aspect. What is LATS? LATS is a Love in Deep Space. It's this game here. Mobile gacha ultimate game that is currently very popular. That I personally will review concept. I mean, I think I get the point that you're making, because I do think that these people are probably like projecting quite a bit. Because they probably mainly play these games, these games that are heavily catered or heavily centered around a female cast. They probably play those games to self-insert and ship themselves with their favorite waifus. And they're just projecting that onto people who want more representation. I watched an ad of that game. It says, "Become my prisoner." Yeah, Love in Deep Space is it's an interesting one. It's not my kind of game, but yeah. Going through my spreadsheet for the longest period that there were no male characters, it would be 2.0 or 2.1, with 7 female characters between Kazuma and Toma release, and 5.3 to 6 with 6 female characters between yeah, so like at most, Genshin has had 3 patches of no new male character. 3. While WooWa has had... how many? Actually, well, more. Definitely more. Dropped Snowbreak because of that? I don't really know much about Snowbreak. Even Muji made fun of lads in one part of his videos. Honestly, like, WooWa becoming like more, I guess, mainstream also isn't really good, because now people call WooWa, I think, lads, I mean, because people call lads a fucking Gooner game when, like, I don't think it is. Once again, the issue of people claiming everything fan servicey is Gooner bait. Like, have you people never played a fucking dating sim before? Do you think every dating sim on planet Earth is a Gooner game? Because you do things that couples do in that game? Like, what is the argument here? What is the argument here supposed to be? Even if Lads has only women, I'm never gonna play that game. Fair enough. Wasn't it Brett? Yeah, the next one was Brett. I was just trying to think of like how many patches there were in between. But I forgot. Basically the MC fucks every single character, and the nail in the coffin was when the tomboy of the game that was more like a big sis to the MC fucks him like 4 times and then gets a power-up. Jesus! Their first gacha was Genshin after years of only Call of Duty and Minecraft. Also fucking horrendous. And in the same patch, another woman that was the only person that kept the place safe decided to drop that just to... That is wild.
When in reality, male characters only make up for one of the reasons why they play certain games. Love and Deed Space is not going to have the gameplay of Punishing Grey Raven or Zenless Zone Zero. Love and Deed Space is not going to have the stories of Fate Grand Order or Honkai Star Rail. Love and Deed Space is not going to have the worlds of Genshin Impact or Wuthering Waves. You come to Love and Deed Space for Love and Deed Space. And Silas.
I like the look on your face right now.
And yes, I am well aware that there are bad actors out there who do attack others in the name of more male characters. But let's not pretend that the rest of the gacha game community is a paradigm of virtue and goodwill, because on the other end, you have people attacking others just for simply saying that they want another male character or two, and they should all be rightfully condemned for such behavior. Again, players should voice their opinions so long as they are not being irrational to others. So if you do want more male characters in these games, you should absolutely express that. No one should tell you how to feel or think otherwise. And if they do and are acting malicious towards said opinion, it's best not to engage with them, especially if it's on the hellscape that is the formerly named Twitter.
Yep.
Now, if you couldn't tell from all my yapping, I personally do want more male characters in these games. Not so much as to bring the ratio to an equal 1-to-1, but just more than what we have now. Because despite being a straight male myself, I am of the belief that having more male characters brings more diverse designs and personalities to these games, which is also the same reason why I advocate for characters with more varied backgrounds and skin tones. I want to see the writers and artists behind these games stretch their creativity and imagination when it comes to creating new characters. Because for me, having a varied roster is what makes a gacha game exciting. But regardless of what I personally want, I understand the circumstances as to why these gacha games are the way they are. They are a business at the end of the day, and they are naturally going to make decisions that yield them the best results. For some, that may be disappointing to hear, but that's just the unfortunate truth of things. However, that doesn't mean I can't still voice my own opinion, and neither should it mean others can't do the same.
Exactly.
If there is even a slight chance of the devs listening, then players should absolutely take that opportunity. And this doesn't just apply to the whole gender ratio thing either, but to other topics of discussion as well, especially when it comes to criticizing these games. So long as we voice our opinions with no malicious intent, that creates a better space to have discussion, rather than just being an outright war zone of people slinging insults and slurs at each other.
And listen, I've said it before, I'll say it again. If you actually care about your game, and if you actually want the game you're talking about to improve, then you're not gonna do this. Then you're actually gonna try to make people understand you. If you truly want to engage in a discussion and you truly want your opinions to be heard and respected, then you're going to make an active effort to respect others in turn and understand their perspectives. Otherwise, you are not being genuine, and I refuse to accept anything. Like, I refuse to believe that you are. If you can't engage in a conversation, in a debate, discussion, respectfully, then you're not genuine. If you can't do it and you choose to do so anyway, I refuse to believe that you're being genuine. Or you just need to stay the fuck away from any discussion and criticism until you learn how to do it, until you learn how to keep your composure.
Thank you to everyone who has tuned in. If you liked the video, then do please leave a like. If not, then a dislike will do. And subscribe to the channel if you want more. This has been Keepers. Have a good rest of your day.
This was very good. Very, very good. Anything at the end here? No.
You know what always boggles my mind about Husbando fans? The fact that they are always perceived as female players. Like, do gay players just not exist?
True!
Happy Pride Month, by the way.
I like this guy. I like this guy. Assuming he's a guy. I mean, he said he's a guy. I like this guy. Yeah. That was a great fucking video. And I will also, I gotta say, I do appreciate that it is a man talking about this topic. I do appreciate that. Because we all know, like, we all know how much less willing a certain group of people would be willing to listen than they already are if a woman was talking about these issues. We know if this was a woman, they would not give two fucks, and they would immediately be on the defensive. Yeah. Based as hell. Happy Pride. Just say bigots, or say misogynists, or say incels. Yeah, just misogynists. Just fucking misogynists. Alex Dora, because being a ZZ equals bad. By the way, Snowbreak originally had male characters. They were more like the MC's brothers, but then they made them women, and later they erased every single man in the game. Jesus! MC is the only man in the game? I mean, yeah, that is just straight up like a harem. That's just a harem fucking... Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, great fucking video. I've also seen, like, already read like a couple of the comments that also have, like, you know, like very like nice like takes on it. I will say that, like, at the end, the thing he mentioned about like the whole business aspect, that like, whoa, the whole business aspect that he mentioned about how businesses, or, you know, these companies are in the end gonna make decisions that, you know, bring them the most profit. Which, on the one hand, sure, but on the other, like, you know, like, if at that point you're just stagnating, you know? Like, you gotta take risks every now and then. And it's not even a high risk. This topic in particular is not even a high risk. Adding more male characters while giving them, you know, the same attention as female characters, at best, you're not gonna lose anything. You're not gonna make any, like, losses. At best, you're gonna make a little less profit, which, sure, fucking whatever. You're not gonna go bankrupt. You're not gonna fucking, like, suffer from it just because you release more male characters. Like, that really, like, it really is no real argument. Like, it is an argument, but a weak one. A pretty weak one, especially because we know that male characters can and do sell if they are properly marketed. Yeah, in their that's the thing. Like, in their eyes, like, less profit means they lose money, which is fucking ridiculous. Let me turn the music back on. Oh, I have to do this. There we go. Oh god. But good video. What other, do you have any, like, other videos that might be interesting to watch? Guess you should complain about Genshin. Oh, that was a year ago. Any, like, recent stuff? That's that. Oh, okay, so he makes, like, rarely videos. Okay. It's like most of these were, like, from a year ago. So he just does them, like, whenever he feels like it. There. Oh, he was the guy. Oh, that was him. He's the guy that talks about, like, that made this video. Like, no, there will never be a Genshin. Oh, okay, I actually do know this guy. Okay. Yeah, no, great fucking video. Drop a like. Lovely person. Has some incredibly based and very respectful and thorough takes that I appreciate a lot. And now, I say we're gonna probably end stream here. Next stream is going to be very exciting. Where am I? There I am. Next stream is going to be on Friday, and it's going to be very exciting because I can finally tap into my P5 brain rot once more. And we will be playing P5X for the first time. I have stayed mostly spoiler-free from that game. I know, besides like the original P5 cast, I know like none of the characters, none of the new characters that appear in there. So that's gonna be exciting. And Saturday we're gonna be reacting to reverse trailers. Pre-release and character trailers. If I remember correctly, with Snowbreak, there was an incident in the writing team, something about possible self-insert fanfic of sex with some of the characters or implied stuff with NPCs, so they fired him, scrapped a lot, and rewrote it all as women. Dear goodness. Oh yeah, and next week... See, I was considering streaming some Ace Attorney today, but then I was like, I'm not going to be streaming it for the rest of the week. And then next week is going to be HSR week, because 3.4 is dropping. And then we might just be like just in time for the Fate collab that comes very soon. So I was like, I don't want to like just jump into the trial of the final case for like 2 hours and then drop it. I would rather leave like this clean cut for when I actually have time to get back into it. Because the thing with like Ace Attorney is like, I want to play it more, but it's also just a matter of time, you know? Or not time. I have time, but a matter of energy. I only have, I don't have energy to like stream more than 3 to maybe 4 days a week. And with that limited time, you know, there's only so much you can do. So, yeah. It's already gonna wait a little longer, but once we're a little freer, we're gonna get to it. Can I tell you who's the first limited? No! No! I'm gonna see it on Friday! It's always funny when you change screens and the model is not there and you go, where am I? It's very funny. Love it, love it. Yeah, my model always loads in a little a little later. But yeah. Mom, welcome in! Or, you know, you did arrive just at the end of stream, but still hope we're doing well today. But yeah, we're gonna be back on Friday with Persona! Ah! I miss my scrunklies and my little creatures and my stupid fox! So, until Friday. And I hope you all have a lovely rest of your day or night or whatever time it is for you. Consider following the Blue Sky, Twitch, YouTube, all the good stuff. We are approaching 1,000 subs on YouTube, and once we get there, I have a plan, a video planned, that I already mentioned beforehand. I want to do a hot takes video. Hoyoverse game-related hot takes specifically, minus Honkai Impact 3rd, because I haven't played that game just yet. But I think it'll be fun. I'm also gonna try... I am like 75% done with the shipping tier list. I think I can squeeze it out before the end of the month. I think I can still manage to post it within Pride Month. I'm almost done editing it. I just have to like get like through the last 20% and then add the BGM, and then we should be good, because I'm not gonna do much editing. I'm not gonna edit it much, honestly. So yeah. Anyway, stay safe, y'all. Take care, and I may see you again on Friday.